Investigators say Beamer's private club in Dallas may have been over-serving alcohol to customers the night former Cowboys player Josh Brent was involved in a deadly car crash that killed then-teammate Jerry Brown. I'm Kerry Chow, joined by Dallas Morning News reporter Robert Wolanski. Robert, what did the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission find?
Well, all they say they have found publicly, because they will not release the report, but all they said publicly in a release today was that they found sufficient evidence that the nightclub on Walnut Hill Lane here in Dallas sold alcohol to an intoxicated person on December 7th, the night that Josh Brent and Jerry Brown took that fateful drive. They also found that the club on that night was, quote, conducting practices that promote excessive consumption by patrons. But they don't name names. They do say this is related very, very specifically to the Josh Brent investigation. As a matter of fact, they also say that they do not mention names, and they are not going forward with an administrative case against Beamer's private club until the conclusion of the criminal case against Brent, and that is a direct quote from their release today.
Did they mention anything regarding what that specific sufficient evidence was?
No, in fact, that is in the report. We have all filed our open records request to try to get our hands on that report. What the report says, we do not know because, as I said before, they do not want to make it public until the criminal investigation in the case, the trial involving Josh Brent, goes, in fact, to the courtroom. So they're trying to, in some ways, stay out of this, but they have been doing this investigation since December. They didn't say which club they were investigating when they confirmed they were doing one in December. This is the first time that they acknowledged the club they were looking at and acknowledged what they were looking at.
I see. All right. Speaking of that Brent case, that Brent trial, what's next for Josh Brent himself?
You know, his attorneys are actually trying to get the judge to suppress the blood evidence that was taken after the December 8th crash. They are claiming it was taken without a warrant. Now, you don't need to have a warrant. That is a warrantless blood taking. It happens here all the time, but they are trying to get that thrown out. I don't believe they will be successful, but we will find out on August 30th when there is a hearing scheduled. Clearly, that blood showed that his BAC, his blood alcohol content, was 0.18, which was more than twice the legal limit of 0.08. So it would behoove his attorneys to try to get it tossed. But this is a guy who's tested positive for marijuana, and during the time that he was not supposed to be engaged in any illicit activities since his indictment for intoxication manslaughter. So he's got an uphill battle, to say the very least. Yes. Now, let me just say one more thing real quick. The TABC, incidentally, can punish, and we are awaiting a statement from the club. They said about an hour ago they were going to get us one. We have yet to see it. But the club can fine. I mean, the TABC, the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, can fine the club. They can revoke or even suspend their license to sell alcohol. They will not decide what to do until that criminal case involving Brent is finished.
Excellent information. That's Dallas Morning News reporter Robert Wolanski. Robert, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And for the latest ESPN headlines, keep it right here on ESPN.com.